Welcome to another night in the NBA. This is your 10-minute recap of the last night of NBA hoops. A game with not too much NBA action, only 5 games on the night. A night where the Sixers blow out the Lakers by 44 points. But to me, that's not the main topic. I don't want to talk about that as the main topic. The main topic to me is the Detroit Pistons losing their 14th straight game, which is just ridiculous. They start the season 2-1 and have not won a game since. And what makes it even worse is they're going up against the Washington Wizards tonight, who were also 2-14 heading into the game. If the season ended at that point, both of them would be tied for the 4th worst winning percentage in NBA history. It's been really bad for both of them to start the year, and it was a game that was deemed the toilet bowl because both teams were so bad heading into it. And the Wizards blow them out. The Wizards win 126-107 in a game that wasn't really all that close, and things have fallen apart really quickly for the Wizards because after they won 2 of their first 3 games, they only lost to the Heat by 1 in the game that they did lose. It looked like things were turning around for Detroit. Cade Cunningham looked really good to start the year, looked like he was asserting himself as a #1 option and could be that on a good team. And then Jalen Duren was putting up like 15 points and 15 rebounds every game. He looked phenomenal, but the Pistons since that point just haven't been good. 14 straight losses and are on pace to win less than 10 games. If you take their winning percentage right now and flex it out to 82 games, they're on pace to win about 9.5 games. You can't win 9.5, obviously, but if they were to win 10, they would be tied for the 3rd worst winning percentage in NBA history with the process 76ers. So not exactly company that you necessarily want to be in. Obviously, the lockout year Charlotte Hornets still sit at the worst record, worst winning percentage in NBA history, but the process Sixers are up there, and it feels like the Pistons could be in that same range as well. The problem is the Sixers were trying to lose. That's the whole point of the process. Be as bad as possible, trade all the assets away, and try to get high picks because of it. But the Pistons have been losing for years now. They've been accumulating talent, and it felt like this was supposed to be the year that they would take a jump up into the play-in range and be a legitimate team because there is good talent on the squad. Cade Cunningham, former #1 overall pick, is, a high-level prospect, a guard that is supposed to be really good, had comparisons to Luka Doncic coming in, and even in this game, 26 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, slightly under 50% from the field, but the non-ability to shoot 3-pointers is still a huge problem for Cade, and it doesn't feel like he really attributes to winning that much right now. The -12 for Cade Cunningham was the worst among all starters. Then you have Jaden Ivey, another high-level guard talent. The #5 overall pick last year, I believe, was named to the all-rookie teams, averaged 15 points per game in his rookie year, and finally he's getting some burn again because to start the year, new head coach Monty Williams had basically benched him and brought him off the bench for Killian Hayes, which was just awful coaching. It's just not good. Ivy in this game, 15 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds on 50% shooting and 66% from 3. There's a real argument that Ivy was the best player in this game. And then their rookie this year, Ausar Thompson, looks like one of the best rookies I've seen in a while because he does everything. 16 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. And honestly, that's a little lower than you normally get from him because he always does everything, gets a lot of blocks, a lot of steals, and is averaging like 10 rebounds as a 6'6" guy, which is just ridiculous. And Jalen Duren as well, very talented, 12 points and 14 rebounds this game on 5 of 8 shooting, very efficient, but the bench is where the problems were in this game because James Wiseman is a -12, Killian Hayes -10, -12 for Alex Burks, -15 for Marcus Sasser, who shot only 30% from the field, and then a -26 for Isaiah Livers, who had 8 points on 3 of 11 shooting. And when the bench came in, they got blown out. They looked awful, but they have good prospects. Like when you had these guys at the top, you should be competitive. You should be in these games, and you should really be kind of making an impact and at least being competitive. But if you're getting blown out by the Wizards, it's really embarrassing, and it could get worse before it gets better. Because looking at the Pistons schedule, I looked at it before this, and I just want to give you their next 8 games after this loss, because mind you, they have lost 14 straight. They play the Lakers next, then the Knicks, the Cavs, the Pacers, the Sixers twice, the Bucks, and the Hawks. So it seems somewhat realistic that the Pistons could head to 22 straight losses before they get a game that even feels winnable, because after that, they play the Jazz at home on December 21st, and at that point, they would have had 22 straight losses and would probably be favored in that game, but with how they would have been playing, they probably wouldn't even be favored. And this thing could get really out of control really quickly if they don't rein it in and get a handle on these losses, because they're playing a lot of good teams. That's why this Wizards game was so important. It felt like they had to win it, and they just couldn't do that. They shoot 42% from the field, 21% from 3, and this is a team with a lot of talent that should be playing well. They're one of my favorite teams to watch early on in the year, but now they just feel completely unwatchable. You're just kind of, it feels like torturing yourself if you're watching a Pistons game. Like, what are you watching them for? They're going to lose. It's been bad. They're not even competitive on a lot of nights. They give up 32 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists to Kyle Kuzma. And in a game where Jordan Poole shoots 33% from the field, the Wizards win easily. It's a really bad kind of statement of where the Pistons are at. And I think this is the worst team I've seen since those process 76ers. And it's just really rough out here. Hopefully the Pistons turn it around, but it's just not looking good. And this loss is the worst I've seen from them all year. It's an embarrassing loss. But now let's get to a little more positive topics. Let's shift around the league, look at different actions, different outcomes, and try to get an idea of what happened on this night of NBA basketball. So, in other action from around the NBA, we did have 4 other games on the night besides the toilet bowl, if you want to call it that. And I'll start us off with Sixers versus Lakers, because this is a battle of 2 teams that look like they were towards the top of their respective conferences. The Sixers were 11-5 coming in, and the Lakers were 10-7. It looked like the Lakers had turned it around. They have everybody playing. Well, everybody they have at this point. The Lakers have been missing guys, but their stars were there. LeBron is there, Anthony Davis is there, Austin Reeves is there, and the Sixers win this game 138-94. It is a 44-point blowout for the 76ers in this victory, and the Lakers couldn't even keep up at all. It looked awful. LeBron breaks the record for most minutes ever played in an NBA career, passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for that milestone. So if you're looking for positive Lakers things, I guess that's it. But awful game for the Lakers, and that was kind of the vibe after the game. LeBron was asked what needed to change after this loss, and he simply said a lot. So it's not looking great for LA. They had kind of turned around their season, it felt like, but with this loss, it's hard to feel positive about the Lakers right now, and a real statement victory for the Sixers. The Trailblazers take down the Pacers 114-110, and what might be the most surprising upset of the night, because the Blazers hadn't been great to this point. They were 4-12 heading into this game, and the Pacers have had the best offense in league history to this point. By offensive rating, the Pacers have been ridiculous, and they only put up 110 points in this game. The Trailblazers do a great job on them. Tyrese Halliburton plays really well, 33 points and 9 assists. He continues to be really solid this year, but it just felt like Halliburton got no help in this game, and because of that, they lose. Multiple Trailblazers play well in this one. 34 points and 7 rebounds for Jeremy Grant, 22 points and 13 rebounds for DeAndre Ayton, and then 24 points and 7 assists for Malcolm Brogdon, and the Blazers have an impressive win in this game. The Jazz take down the Pelicans 114-112. Without Lauri Markkanen for the second straight time against the Pelicans, they beat them without their best player, which is crazy. And Zion played in this game, Ingram played. The Pelicans had their guys, but it didn't matter. Will Hardy is doing a great job coaching this Jazz team. He made hard decisions. He benches Walker Kessler, Colin Sexton, Talen Horton-Tucker, who had started games for them this season, and inserts Simone Fontecchio and Omer Yurtseven into the starting lineup. And since doing that, they beat the Pelicans twice, so it's kind of really impressive the way that he's been able to motivate his guys, and the rookie really stood out in this one. 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists for Keon George, but the Pelicans just couldn't compete with this Jazz team that is just getting a bunch of kind of smaller contributions from a different guys. But I'm surprised they didn't win it. But the Jazz look really impressive, and I think Will Hardy has to be kind of applauded for the job that he's doing right now. The Clippers are still playing the Nuggets. This one's in the third quarter. Clippers are up 83-74. No Jokic, no Murray, no Aaron Gordon in this game for Denver, and because of that, it feels likely they'll lose. Reggie Jackson in kind of a revenge game against the Clippers. 22 points and 8 assists right now. He's playing well, but the Clippers have Harden, Kawhi, Paul George. They should win this game, and it feels like they're going to, and get back on track a little. It's nice that they got this one that felt like more of a gimme that they could win. But now, as always, let's get into the last segment of the night, a segment I always want to do, which is the top 5 players according to the Real Sports app. Yes, we do have a game still going on, but I think at this point we have an idea of who played really well and who the top performers were. So let's just get into it. At number 1, Joel Embiid with 30 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists, the triple-double. Jeremy Grant at 2 with 35 points and 7 rebounds on 67% shooting. Tyrese Maxey at 3 with 31 points and 8 assists. Halliburton comes in at number 4 with 33 points and 9 assists. And then rounding out the top 5 is Kyle Kuzma with 32 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists. He just teared the Pistons apart. But that'll do it for this night in the NBA. Another night in the NBA. Thanks for watching. Think about subscribing. I'm on the road to 12,000 subscribers. So if you enjoy the daily recaps, think about sticking around and watching some more of them. But that'll do it for me, so I hope you enjoyed. Thanks again for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.